My man Jim Frevola. Is it Vice President of Sales? I keep giving you titles.
Senior Vice President.
Senior Vice President of Sales for the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't think too many people could have a better story than the story that happened this season with the Knights. And from your end of it, it had to be remarkable.
I hadn't heard. How'd it go?
How'd it go? Well, I think I met you, this time last year? About a year ago. We talked about Las Vegas, and you figuring out the lay of the land, and you didn't want to talk out of step about the Vegas Knights.
That's right.
I think we're good.
I think we're good now.
I
didn't want to come on last year to the show. I had just joined the team. I didn't really know the general manager, the coach. I didn't want to say anything about the team that would get me in trouble. But I feel a lot better about it now. It was the best year of my life.
So what background are you coming from?
So most of my career has been in the NFL. So the National Football League, I worked for the Miami Dolphins, Cleveland Browns, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers most recently. So I've been an NFL guy, but I worked for the UFC. I don't know if Forrest left or not, but
yeah, he already took off.
I worked for the UFC for 3.5 years. So I lived here in Vegas with the UFC, and my family loved living here. So I got a call around the Super Bowl last year, and I was in Houston with the Buccaneers, and Kerry Buboltz, our team president, called me and I said, hey, I understand you like Vegas and you'd be interested in potentially coming back. And I was like, sign me up, because I love living here. I never wanted to leave, but there wasn't professional sports here, and I have family that loves sports, and my whole career is sports, and I would have loved to have stayed here and worked for a professional team, but 4 years ago when we left, there wasn't a team here. But this is beyond anything I ever imagined.
So let's kind of look at this. So we're last year, October 1st, we know the tragedy that happened, and I have to admit, I was so nervous at that game because I know how much emotion was going into that game, and I didn't know if the guys could sustain it and pull out a win for the city, but they did it. Did you think that was going to be the only win you had for this season?
Well, we had won 2 games on the road, which I didn't think we would win before the home opener. The October 1st tragedy was such a defining moment for the organization. You never want to go through that. You don't want that to be your defining moment, but our team embraced it, and I said to myself, there's only one game I want to win all year. That was the home opener. That was that first game, and I would have rather have won that game than I would have won the Stanley Cup. That's how much that game meant to me. That's how much it meant to our organization. And I told my staff, I'm not working from 30 minutes before we drop the puck on opening night until after the first period. I'm just going to enjoy it as a fan. I want to watch it, soak it all in, and just about an hour ago is when I stopped crying. I've cried more in my job in sports in the last 10 months than I've ever cried in my life. And it's been tears of sadness for what happened around October 1, tears of joy for what happened around October 10 with the team, and everything in between. But it's been the most emotional and trying year I've ever had, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, I thought that was just me crying in front of my television at home.
No, I was crying last night at the awards show, the NHL awards last night, when Carlson's talking about the first responders, and I see the coach getting Coach of the Year, and George McPhee getting GM of the Year, and it was just a rush of emotions. I've been in this business 25 years. And this is what you live and die for, is to win that Stanley Cup and to be a part of an organization like this. I would actually, if we win the Stanley Cup next year, this year meant more. Not winning the Stanley Cup. This year I'll never duplicate, I'll never be by far the best that could have ever happened. Win or lose against Capitals doesn't matter.
How do you catalog something like that, especially with you being in sports? People, the prognosticators, the analysts, the professionals, everybody that knew something about hockey said if you guys win 10 games, you've won too many. And then every week, every month, every day, however you want to say it was just another win, and then saying, yeah, but.
I don't think Marc-Andre Fleury gets as much credit as he deserves, and he gets a ton of credit. But you start with a guy like him in net, and he provides instant confidence to everybody else in the organization, because you can make a mistake and he's going to bail you out 9 times out of 10. So when you've got Fleury in that makes everybody better. And you saw that momentum building in the first 5 or 6 games before he got hurt. And then I think the guys, the veterans, especially Neal and England, they needed to step up for the team when Fleury got hurt and kind of take that mantle, and they did. But I didn't think we were going to have this result on the ice, but I thought we'd be at least competitive because of Fleury. I thought we'd lose a lot of 2-1 games, 3-2 games. But when you've got a guy like him in the net, you expect to be competitive. And then everybody else stepped into their role, and I'm telling you, Bill Foley said this yesterday or the day before, that he's building a dynasty here. He's not building a dynasty, he built a dynasty. This is a dynasty. With the draft picks that we have, with the players that we have, the free agents that are attracted to here, this team's going to be the Patriots. We are going to be the New England Patriots of the NHL.
Woo, man, you just bit off a bit. Yeah, let's give a hand on that one. I like that, man. I like that. I mean, because at this point, I think the question is, where do we go from here with the team? What are the expectations?
Well, I'm going with them on vacation, I hope, at some point, because it's been a long 15 months. Fleury's already in Hawaii. Maybe I'll join them there. But where do we go from here? I think I was with Bill this morning at a presentation that was pretty insightful, and I know what the team wants to do and how they want to get better. He said this team will be better next year. It doesn't necessarily mean that we'll have as many wins in the regular season as we did, because you can never guarantee injuries and things like that, and it was such a magical ride. Everything kind of went right for us this year, but we can have 9 less points in the regular season and be a better playoff team than we were this year. And I think that's, from what I heard from Bill today, those are the words right out of his mouth. We're going to be a better team next year than we were this year.
Well, like, we know that you're a sports guy, and you're coming from the background. Have you ever seen a city just embrace a team? Because no one, let's be real, people didn't know hockey. You know, we're not a hockey town. But now all of a sudden you just ride around the city, you see the banners, you see the stickers on the cars. It's just,
I'm going to pull up a tweet that I saw, and the support has been phenomenal. I retweeted this yesterday, so bear with me 1 second when I pull this up, because I want to read it to you. See, this is a quote from a tweet. Seriously, for the first time in my life, I'm watching the NHL awards. The sport I didn't know I needed, and now I can't imagine our lives without. That's what a lot of people did. Who here didn't know you needed to have hockey in your life? I didn't know I needed to have hockey in my life, and I'm in the sports business. And we needed this. This is what this town needed, and I love that I had lived here before. So I knew, I'm not a local, but this is my almost 4.5, 5 years total. And I was here for 3.5 years with the UFC. And I didn't know what I needed when I was here before, but this is what I needed. I needed the Golden Knights, and the city needed them, and it's a fantastic sport. So I can't imagine. I lived my whole life. I'll never go back to the NFL. Never go back to the NFL.
We're not letting.
And I love the NFL. I'm a big fan. I love to watch football, but this is the best sport on the planet.
Well, I'm going to tell something, and I hope you don't mind if I tell a little personal thing about one of your best friends is Dan Le Batard.
Yes.
And if you guys don't know, Dan Le Batard has a show on ESPN Radio here from
10 to 1.
Listen to you, 10 to 1, which is 7 to 10 here.
Oh, yeah, 7 to 10.
7 to 10 here locally. And he embraced our team nationally. That had to make you feel cool that your boy picked you up.
He did. He said something that we are actually quietly saying, so don't tell anybody, that we're America's team. And Dan went on the radio and said, we're going to adopt the Golden Knights as America's team. And it's something that's that kind of philosophy that we believe in. We are always going to be the #1 team here in Vegas, but the rest of the country, we're the #2 team in their city. So if you're in Detroit, we're the second favorite team in Detroit. We're the second favorite team in Chicago. We saw cities adopting us out of the woodwork. Pittsburgh had higher ratings for our games sometimes this year than they did for their own games. And that's just something you don't see. And a lot of it's because of the Golden Knights, but a lot of it's because of all you guys and the city of Las Vegas. Like, people love this city that don't live here. They love to come here, they love to have fun here and party here and have a good time. And they don't realize that this is a real town. These 2.2 million of us that live here, we go to work every day just like somebody in Houston or Atlanta or Cincinnati. This is a real community, and I think now it's a Golden Knights community. I think everybody is so proud of us, and we're proud to be here.
That's it, that's it. Well, Jim, I know a lot of folks here, as I've been saying, that they can get involved with the Vegas Knights. How do they get involved, and what kind of opportunities are there?
Well, so from a sales perspective, if you own a business or you work for a business where you're in marketing, we can talk about sponsorship opportunities. But the most important thing I can tell you to do is keep coming to the games. If you can't get tickets, keep watching on TV. Go to the events. Come to the practice facility out in Summerlin, down at the City National
That's
Arena.
crazy out there.
Watch the practices there. Just love it every day. And don't forget, we're 87 days away from our first preseason game.
Ah, you heard it right here. All right, well, let's give a hand to Jim Frevola. Jim, thanks for coming out.
Thank you. We love you guys.